Have you ever shared a piece of your breakfast with your dog? Just a little toast with peanut butter or a bite of chicken. Because those eyes begged for it, I did too, until the day my dog collapsed. The peanut butter I gave her had xylitol harmless for us, but toxic for dogs. That moment shattered me. What I thought was love almost cost her life. The truth is, foods sitting in your kitchen right now can trigger seizures, organ failure, or sudden collapse. This video will reveal 20 everyday foods that could harm your dog. And food number 9 can cause dangerous bloating that twists the stomach, a condition that can quickly turn fatal. Let's begin. Number 1. Peanut butter, peanut butter. Just the sound of it makes dogs lose their minds. You open that jar, and suddenly he's right there beside you, eyes wide, nose, twitching tail, thumping against the floor. It feels innocent, doesn't it? A spoonful here, a lick there. A treat you'd bet your life is safe. After all, what could be more harmless than peanut butter? But here's the twist. It isn't the peanuts. It's a single hidden ingredient that turns this creamy delight into a loaded gun xylitol. A sweetener made for humans, a poison for dogs. To us, it's nothing more than sugar-free convenience. To them, it's a death sentence disguised as dessert. Within minutes of licking just a little, their blood sugar plummets like a car with cut brakes. They wobble, they collapse, their liver starts shutting down, and the whole time they look up at you with complete trust, having no idea why their body is betraying them. I've seen dogs brought into the clinic barely able to stand, their gums pale, their owners shaking because they thought they were being kind. And here's the haunting part. It doesn't take a jar. Sometimes it's just one lick from a spoon left in the sink, or a finger swipe from a sugar-free brand you didn't think twice about. That tiny amount can send them spiraling into seizures. But not every jar is dangerous. The safe ones list only peanuts, maybe a pinch of salt. Nothing more. That's the peanut butter. Your dog can enjoy the kind that feels like love, without the hidden knife behind it. And if that surprises you, hold on. Because the next food is one that smells like pure happiness in the kitchen. It sizzles, it crackles, and those begging eyes make it almost impossible to resist. But every bite of it is like striking a match inside your dog's body. Number 2. Bacon and processed meats. Bacon. Just saying the word, you can almost hear it pop crackle, that golden strip curling in the pan, filling the whole kitchen with a smell that makes your mouth water. And when your dog catches that scent, those eyes lock on you like you're the hero of the world. You tell yourself, what harm could one little piece do? It's just bacon. But here's what I've seen too many times. To a dog's body, every slice is like loading a bullet into a chamber. Bacon isn't a snack, it's a slow, burning fuse. The fat is so heavy, so concentrated, that their pancreas, this small, delicate organ, is thrown into chaos. Imagine it swelling up, inflamed on fire, until it can no longer do its job. That's pancreatitis, and I've watched dogs collapse from the pain, while their owners beg me to fix what can't always be fixed. And it's not just the fat. Hidden in every savory bite are salts and preservatives, nitrates that build up like rust in their system, corroding slowly year after year. To us, it's flavor. To them, it's poison in disguise. Even a bite that seems harmless is to a 20-pound dog the same as you downing an entire pizza dripping with grease and salt in one sitting. The difference? Your body fights back. Theirs can't. I've had men in their 60s, tough men, ex-firefighters, truck drivers sit across from me with tears in their eyes because they thought they were giving their dog a little joy. But bacon doesn't give joy. It takes it away piece by piece. So, What's the safe choice? A strip of plain boiled chicken breast, no skin, no seasoning, nothing hiding inside. To your dog, it tastes just as heavenly. To you, it's peace of mind, knowing you're not striking a match inside his body. And if that sounds bad, wait. Because the next food wears the mask of health. It comes neatly packed in a can, marketed as heart-friendly for humans. But inside that tin lies a neurotoxin that doesn't just nibble at your dog's organs, it climbs into the brain itself. Number 3. Canned fish. You've probably heard it 100 times. Fish is brain food, heart-healthy, packed with protein. So one day, you crack open a can of tuna thinking, why not share a little with my best friend? The smell drifts out, your dog is pawing at your leg eyes, wide tail beating the floor like a drum. It feels like generosity, but what you don't see is the slow trap hiding inside that shiny little can. Because canned fish isn't the ocean-fresh gift we imagine. It carries with it something darker mercury. Heavy metals that creep into your dog's bloodstream, then climb higher and higher until they reach the nervous system. Over time, those metals settle in the brain like unwanted tenants. Seizures, tremors, a staggering walk as if drunk. The mind you love in your dog, bright, loyal, playful, becomes clouded, broken, slipping away one twitch at a time. And the danger doesn't stop there. Most of those cans are swimming in salt and oil preservatives added to stretch shelf life for us, but cutting down the years of theirs. Each forkful you think is kindness is really a toxic deposit. In a bank account your dog's small body cannot afford. They don't process these poisons the way we do. What barely dents us builds up inside them brick by brick until the walls finally collapse. I've seen owners devastated saying, but fish is healthy. And yes, fresh fish can be a gift. Steamed salmon, plain sardines, those make coats shine and joints strong. But the can in your pantry, that's not a gift, it's a ticking clock. And if that thought makes you uneasy, it should. Because the next food is one so many people turn to when the dog food runs out, when it's late, when they just want to fill a bowl. Harmless noodles, right? Except what's inside those little packets isn't food at all. It's a chemical bomb waiting to go off. Number 4. Instant noodles. Picture this. It's late. The dog food bag is empty, and you're tired. You glance at the pantry and think, just a quick fix. Some noodles. Maybe a little rice. It won't hurt. You boil the water, tear open the packet, and in minutes your dog is slurping up those soft strands with joy. Simple. Harmless. Or so it seems. But those noodles are not the quiet comfort food you think they are. They're loaded grenades disguised as dinner. The flavor packet alone is a storm salt levels so high they strip water from your dog's body like a desert sun. Hidden inside are powders of onion and garlic toxic whispers that eat away at his red blood cells. Then comes the MSG, the artificial flavors chemicals, your dog's liver fights like an army outnumbered until it can no longer stand its ground. Even the noodles themselves are empty shells. Nothing but refined starch that swells his belly, adding weight. He doesn't need pushing him down the road toward diabetes and aching joints. And yet, to his eyes, it feels like love. To his body, it feels like betrayal. I've seen small dogs come into the clinic trembling, dehydrated, their kidneys already struggling after just one quick fix meal. What felt like kindness at midnight turned into a morning of IV drips and worried faces. There's a safer way. Boil a little brown rice, steam some plain vegetables, simple, clean, and real. That's food that nourishes instead of destroys. And if you think noodles are shocking, wait. Because the next food is something you may eat every morning, smiling, thinking you're being healthy. Sweet, fruity probiotic. But for your dog, it's not a boost. It's a slow, sour punishment hiding behind sugar. Number 5. Flavored yogurt. It feels like a gift from the heart. You're having breakfast, a bowl of strawberry or blueberry yogurt, and there he is sitting at your feet, eyes locked on every spoonful. You think, this is healthy for me, a little taste will be healthy for him too. So you tip the spoon, and he licks it, clean tail wagging tongue pink with sugar. It feels like love, doesn't it? But inside that creamy swirl hides a trap. Flavored yogurt is often packed with refined sugar, more than candy. And in your dog's body, that sugar doesn't just disappear. It slams into the bloodstream like a freight train, spiking blood sugar, forcing the pancreas to work overtime until one day it can't. Diabetes doesn't arrive with a bang. It creeps in quietly, step by step, and flavored yogurt is the perfect invitation. And then there's the darker danger, the one printed in small letters most owners never notice: xylitol. To us, it's just a sugar substitute. To dogs, it's a chemical guillotine. One spoonful laced with xylitol can crash their blood sugar so fast they stumble, collapse, seize. And by the time you realize what's happening, it may already be too late. Even when yogurt doesn't carry xylitol, it still carries another hidden blade. Most adult dogs are lactose intolerant. That healthy yogurt ferments in their gut, twisting their stomach, filling them with gas, leaving them curled in pain they cannot explain. They look tired, uncomfortable, and you never connect it back to the spoonful you thought was kindness. There is a safe path: plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened, or better yet, lactose-free versions that soothe the gut instead of punishing it. That's the difference between feeding love and feeding harm. And if you thought yogurt was surprising, the next food is even more unsettling. It's something so small, so ordinary, that dropping just a handful on the floor can take down even the strongest German Shepherd. Number 6. Nuts. You're on the couch watching TV, a bowl of mixed nuts on the table. A few slip through your fingers and scatter across the floor. Before you can even reach down, he's already there, quick as lightning, crunching them up, tail wagging like he just found buried treasure. You laugh because it seems so harmless, so small. But those little bites are anything but harmless. Macadamia nuts in particular are wolves in disguise. To us, they're just a snack. To your dog, they're poison that attacks the nervous system like a thief in the night. Within 12 hours, I've seen strong dogs trembling, unable to walk straight, their legs giving out like they've forgotten how to stand. Vomiting, weakness, confusion, symptoms that come on fast, leaving owners stunned, whispering, "It was just one nut." And walnuts. They carry their own curse, capable of triggering seizures and liver failure like fire spreading through a forest you thought was safe. Even the so-called safe nuts, almonds, cashews, are not what they seem. To us, they're crunchy, salty, satisfying. To a dog, they're choking hazards, jagged stones that can lodge in the throat or clog the intestines like cement. And the salt, sprinkled over most nut mixes, that's a hidden tide, swelling in their system, dehydrating and damaging them long after the crunch is gone. I've treated dogs gasping for breath throats, swollen shut after just a handful of salted cashews. Owners never saw it coming. They thought it was cute, funny even. But cute turns tragic in minutes when a blocked airway closes tighter and tighter. There is no joy in those kernels. If you want to share a crunch with your dog, choose cucumber slices, cool and crisp, or baby carrots that snap between his teeth without the silent danger. He'll think it's a treat, and you'll know it's safety. But if nuts can break a German Shepherd, Imagine what happens when you hand over something far more tempting, the Sunday roast chicken, golden seasoned, dripping with flavor. You think it's safe because it's chicken. But that bird dressed in spices is a triple threat waiting to strike. Number 7. Roasted chicken with seasoning. Sunday dinner. The smell of roasted chicken fills the house, golden skin, crackling herbs dancing in the air. Your dog sits patiently at your feet, nose lifted, eyes locked on every slice you carve. And you think it's chicken safe, simple, good protein. What harm could a little taste do? But the danger isn't in the chicken itself. It's in what we put on it. That crispy skin you love so much is pure concentrated fat. A ticking bomb for your dog's pancreas. Imagine that small organ no bigger than a thumb suddenly inflaming, swelling, burning from the inside until every bite becomes agony. That's pancreatitis. And once it starts, it can end in days of suffering. The seasoning is worse. Garlic and onion powders hide in those spices, slow assassins that slip into the bloodstream and begin to destroy red blood cells. The process is silent at first. Your dog still eats, still wags his tail. But inside, his blood can no longer carry oxygen. He grows weaker, pale gums, tired eyes, as if life itself is slipping away one cell at a time. And by the time you see the signs, the damage is already carved deep. Even the herbs we scatter so carelessly can turn dark. Rosemary in high amounts, for example, can trigger seizures in sensitive dogs. What looks like flavor to you can be a spark that rewires their brain. And yet the solution is so simple. Plain boiled chicken breast, no skin, no seasoning, nothing hidden is the food dogs thrive on. It's still their favorite protein, still the comfort they beg for, but given in a form that loves them back instead of tearing them apart. But if seasoned chicken can betray your dog, wait until you see what dairy does. Because that sweet lick of ice cream or slice of cheese that makes them wiggle with joy is not comfort at all. It's torture disguised as a treat. Number 8. Dairy products. It starts with something so small, so sweet. A lick of your ice cream cone on a hot summer day. A cube of cheese slipped under the table when no one's looking. A splash of milk in the bottom of a cereal bowl. Your dog's eyes light up, his tail thumps, and you feel like you've given him joy. But that joy hides a secret. Most adult dogs are lactose intolerant. When milk, cheese, or ice cream slides into their stomach, it doesn't melt away into comfort. It ferments. It bubbles. It twists their insides like a knot being pulled tighter and tighter. Hours later, while you're asleep, your dog may be curled up in pain, belly-cramping gas, building diarrhea, staining the floor, and he can't tell you why. He suffers silently because he trusts you. And it doesn't stop at stomach pain. Over time, many dogs develop allergies to milk proteins. Their skin begins to itch, their ears fill with infection, their paws are chewed raw from constant licking. Owners often think it's just sensitive skin, but I've seen the truth behind that scratching is dairy, a slow poison that hides in the very foods meant to comfort. Even sugar adds another blade to the knife. Ice cream spikes blood sugar like a lightning bolt, pushing your dog toward diabetes one spoonful at a time. What feels like a harmless lick can become years of silent damage. There are safer ways to cool your dog. Frozen banana slices, plain coconut yogurt, treats that refresh without betraying his trust. Because dairy doesn't love your dog back. It only leaves scars you can't see until it's too late. And if dairy can do this much harm, imagine bread. That soft, warm loaf you tear with your hands, that innocent piece you slip under the table, isn't just filling your dog's belly. It's fermenting inside him turning to alcohol, swelling like a balloon until it can twist his very stomach. Number 9. Bread and yeast. Fresh bread. The smell drifts through the kitchen, warm, sweet, alive. You break off a piece soft in your hand, and when those pleading eyes look up at you, it feels like the kindest thing in the world to share. Just a crust. Just a bite. What harm could it do? But bread doesn't stop rising when it leaves the oven. In your dog's stomach, yeast can keep fermenting, filling him with gas, stretching his belly tight, like a balloon ready to burst. In severe cases, the stomach doesn't just swell, it twists. A condition we call bloat, a silent killer that can take a life in hours. I've seen strong dogs, happy and healthy one evening, lying on the clinic floor the next, their stomachs distended, their breathing shallow, their owners whispering, "It was only a piece of bread." And there's more. As yeast ferments, it produces alcohol. Not enough to intoxicate you, but enough to make your dog stumble as though he's drunk, disoriented, poisoned from within. Add the refined flour stripped of nutrients, spiking blood sugar, pushing them closer to obesity and diabetes. And suddenly, that innocent slice becomes a cocktail of dangers. I know bread feels harmless because it feels so human, so ordinary. But to a dog, it's not nourishment, it's a trap. What looks like comfort in your hand is chaos in his body. If you want to share something crunchy, something simple, choose a carrot stick, choose a slice of apple. They satisfy his craving without turning his stomach into a ticking time bomb. But if bread can betray you, wait until you see what breakfast cereals do. Colorful fun made to look like joy in a bowl. Yet for dogs, they're sugar bombs, chemical storms, even hiding raisins or chocolate chips that can kill with one bite. Number 10. Breakfast cereals. The morning sun, a bowl of cereal, the clink of a spoon. It's the picture of routine, of comfort. Your dog sits nearby, ears perked, hoping for a few pieces to fall his way. They look so small, so innocent, little bursts of color that promise sweetness. You drop a handful, and he crunches them down like candy. It feels harmless, cute, even. But in his body, those bright little bites are more dangerous than you can imagine. Most cereals contain more sugar than actual candy. To your dog, that sugar isn't just a sweet surprise, it's a shock wave. His blood sugar rockets up his pancreas, working like an engine pushed past the red line. Then comes the crash, leaving him weak, his body straining to recover from a high it was never meant to handle. Over time, those crashes carve the road straight toward diabetes. And the colors, they're not magic. They're chemicals, artificial dyes made from petroleum sliding into your dog's liver like drops of poison paint. Each color is a lie, bright for your eyes, but heavy on his organs. Even the so-called healthy cereals carry hidden traps. Extra fiber that clogs raisins that destroy kidneys, chocolate chips that poison the heart. Add the milk you pour over it. Milk his body can't digest, and that cheerful bowl becomes a slow-motion disaster. I've watched owners bring in dogs, bloated, lethargic, trembling, never realizing it all started with a morning habit they thought was sweet. If you want to share breakfast with your best friend, skip the rainbow box. A spoonful of plain cooked oats, a slice of banana. Those are gifts that nourish without punishment. But if sugar and color can cause this much chaos, imagine a fruit so toxic that even one bite can destroy a dog's kidneys. Coming up next is a food that's as unpredictable as a loaded gun. Sometimes nothing happens. Other times, one grape is all it takes to end a life. Number 11. Grapes and raisins. They look so harmless, don't they? Small, sweet, bursting with juice. You pop a few grapes into your mouth without a thought, and when one rolls off the counter, your dog snaps it up before you can stop him. It feels like nothing, a piece of fruit, a tiny treat. But inside your dog's body, that single grape can be as dangerous as a loaded revolver. We don't fully understand why. That's what makes it terrifying. Some dogs eat a whole bunch and walk away untouched. Others eat just one, and within 24 hours their kidneys begin to shut down. It's Russian roulette in its purest form. And I've seen the unlucky ones, the vomiting, the trembling, the sudden lethargy. Blood tests screaming kidney failure. Owners staring at me broken because they thought they were sharing something healthy. Raisins are worse. Concentrated, shriveled sweetness that strikes like lightning. One oatmeal cookie, one handful of trail mix, and your dog can spiral into acute renal failure before you even connect the dots. The toxin is in the skin, the flesh, everywhere. There is no safe part, no safe amount. I remember a tiny Maltese, barely 5 pounds, brought in after nibbling just a handful. By the 4th day, despite every drip, every medicine, his kidneys gave up. And the family was left with a silence far louder than his barking ever was. There is no gamble worth taking here. Grapes, raisins, grape juice, cookies, cereal. If it has even a trace, it's poison. The safe alternative, blueberries, strawberries, fruits that love your dog back instead of tearing him apart. And if a grape no bigger than your fingernail can cause that much destruction, wait until you hear about the humble potato. Because when it turns green, it transforms into something darker. A neurotoxin so powerful it can paralyze your dog from the inside out. Number 12. Green or sprouted potatoes. Potatoes. They seem so plain, so safe. A comfort food in every kitchen, mashed, fried, roasted, part of countless family meals. And when a peel slips to the floor, or a piece of potato lands in your dog's bowl, it feels like nothing more than a harmless scrap. But when that potato turns green or sprouts tiny fingers from its skin, it becomes something far more sinister. Hidden inside is solanine, a toxin nature designed as a warning sign. That green tint isn't just color, it's danger flashing like a signal flare. In your dog's body, solanine attacks the nervous system with ruthless precision. First comes the vomiting, the diarrhea, the trembling. Then the heartbeat falters, irregular and weak. And in the worst cases, muscles fail, breathing slows, paralysis creeps in like a shadow your dog can't escape. I have seen owners baffled, saying, "It was just a peel, just a small bite." But for a dog's smaller system, that peel can be a poison-laced dagger. And sprouted potatoes are no safer. Those little growths carry the toxin too, and every chew is another step closer to disaster. Even undercooked potatoes, which haven't had the heat to break down solanine, can do harm. The saddest part, it's so easy to miss. A bag of potatoes left in a warm kitchen corner, a few turning green, sprouting in silence, until the moment your dog finds one on the floor. By the time you notice the change, the damage may already be unfolding inside him. Store potatoes in the dark, in the cold, away from curious paws. And never feed peels or raw scraps, no matter how small. Because the price of a mistake here isn't an upset stomach, it can be your dog's life. And if the thought of a potato turning toxic unsettles you, brace yourself. Because the next food is something you've probably served with good intentions. A side dish, a filler, a staple of sick day meals. But depending on how you prepare it, even rice can become a hidden landmine. Number 13. Rice with seasoning rice. Plain, soft, easy to digest, everybody's safe food, right? When your dog's stomach seems upset, you may have even been told, Just give him some rice. And it's true. Plain boiled rice in small amounts can soothe. But here's where kindness can twist into danger. It's not always the rice itself, it's what we add to it. A pinch of salt to make it taste better. A spoonful of butter to give it richness. A splash of chicken broth for flavor. In your kitchen, these are harmless touches. In your dog's body, they're landmines. That broth, almost always made with onion and garlic, silent destroyers of red blood cells. The butter, a fat bomb that turns a sick stomach into a battle zone. And the salt, so much salt, draws water out of your dog's system like a tide receding, leaving his kidneys gasping for balance. I've seen dogs rushed into the clinic, bloated, weak, dehydrated, after being fed comfort rice. Their owners thought they were healing when in reality every bite was carving a deeper wound inside. And fried rice. That's a disaster in a bowl. Oil, soy sauce, and vegetables toxic to dogs, all working together like a toxic cocktail. Even uncooked rice carries its own hidden threat. Those tiny grains swell inside the stomach, expanding, pressing, causing pain and blockages that leave a dog restless, panting, unable to settle. What seemed like a soothing gesture becomes a slow choke from the inside. If you want to give rice, keep it plain. Just rice boiled in water, nothing more, and always in small portions. It's not glamorous, but it's safe. Because when it comes to your dog, flavor should never come before life. And if rice, the simplest food in the world, can turn dangerous so quickly, imagine a dish designed from the start to be indulgent: cheese, sauce, meat, grease, all layered together. The food we humans can't resist, hot from the box, dripping with flavor. Pizza. For dogs, it's not a treat. It's a toxic storm. Number 14. Pizza. The moment that box opens, the smell takes over the room. Warm dough, melted cheese, spicy pepperoni, every sense is hijacked at once. And your dog knows it too. He's right there at your feet. Nose, quivering, eyes fixed on that slice in your hand. You smile because it feels almost cruel not to share. Just a corner of crust, a bite of cheese, a little taste of happiness. But for your dog, pizza isn't happiness. It's chaos wrapped in flavor. That cheese you peel away in long strings is heavy with fat, and lactose a double strike to the gut and pancreas. The tomato sauce, sweet and tangy to you, hides onions and garlic that slash at his red blood cells like invisible blades. The pepperoni and sausage, salty, oily, preserved with nitrates, load his kidneys with more than they can carry. Even the crust, innocent as it looks, is made of refined flour and yeast that swell in his stomach, spiking blood sugar, fermenting, bloating, making every breath harder. I've seen dogs trembling with stomach pain hours after stealing a slice. Owners pacing the clinic floor saying it was just one piece. But in their dog's body, that one piece was an entire toxic storm, fat, salt, spice, yeast, chemicals, all hitting at once. And the cruelest trick, to him, pizza feels like love. He doesn't know that what melts in his mouth is setting fire to his insides. If you want to share that mealtime bond, trade the slice for a bite of plain chicken or fresh vegetables, he'll still see it as a gift, and you'll know it won't shorten his life. And if pizza, that comfort food we love most, can be so deadly, wait until you hear about the food that looks just as golden, just as tempting, but hides its poison in oil and salt. French fries, the snack that crunches with joy for us, but chips away at your dog's health with every single bite. Number 15. French fries. Golden, crispy, hot from the fryer. You hear the sizzle smell, the salt, taste the crunch. Your dog is right there, eyes wide, ears forward, tail beating the floor like a drum. You can't resist. One fry, maybe two. He devours them in a heartbeat, licking the salt from his lips as if you've just given him the best gift in the world. But inside his body, those fries are not a gift. They're a slow-burning fuse. Each one is soaked in oils that twist his stomach into knots, oils his liver struggles to process, oils that coat his organs like sludge in an engine. And then comes the salt, a tidal wave that dehydrates him from the inside out, pulling water from his cells until his kidneys cry out for relief. I've seen small dogs come in limp, their hearts racing after just a handful. I've seen bigger dogs bloated and sick for days, pancreatitis raging like a fire they couldn't put out. Frozen fries, fast food fries, homemade, it doesn't matter. The danger is the same fat and salt stacking up like bricks, building walls around your dog's health until he can't break free. And the cruelest trick, he crunches happily, eyes glowing with trust, while the damage builds in silence. There is a safer crunch. Baked sweet potato slices, naturally sweet, nourishing kind. They give your dog the joy of the bite without the poison in disguise. But if fries can do this much harm, imagine something even more ordinary. Something in almost every recipe, every kitchen sprinkled in for flavor without a second thought. Onions and garlic seasonings for us, but for dogs, they are silent killers that strip oxygen from their blood cell by cell. Number 16. Onions and garlic. They're in almost everything we cook. A sprinkle of garlic powder on roasted meat, onions sizzling in the pan, the foundation of soups and sauces. To us, they mean flavor, warmth, home. To your dog, they mean something very different. Silent suffocation from the inside out. Onions and garlic carry compounds that tear at red blood cells, shredding them until they can no longer carry oxygen. At first, you see nothing. Your dog eats happily, wags his tail, curls up beside you. But inside, his blood is changing, turning weak, losing the ability to deliver the breath of life to his organs. Days later, the signs appear: pale gums, lethargy, vomiting. By then, the damage is already woven deep into his body, and it cannot simply be undone. I've treated dogs whose blood looked like it had been drained of its power, their hearts beating fast, desperate to push oxygen that wasn't there. Owners shaking their heads, swearing it was just leftovers, just a bit of gravy, just a crust dusted with seasoning. But to a dog's smaller body, that just a bit is a dagger cloaked in flavor. Garlic powder is the most dangerous of all. It's concentrated, hidden in sauces, marinades, even pre-cooked foods from the store. One sprinkle here, one dip there, and over time it builds stacking poison until the body can no longer fight. There is no safe dose. Not in broth, not in seasonings, not in scraps. The only safe choice is none at all. And if something as ordinary as onions and garlic can drain the very breath from your dog's blood, what about the treats we bake with love? The cookies, the biscuits, the snacks that fill the kitchen with sweetness. Coming up next is a food that seems innocent, but is nothing more than sugar, wrapped around poison. Number 17. Cookies. The kitchen fills with the smell of fresh-baked cookies. Sweet, buttery, warm from the oven. The kind of smell that feels like childhood. You break one apart, the chocolate still melting, and there he is, your dog eyes pleading, tail wagging like a metronome. It feels cruel not to share. Just a bite, just a crumb. But that crumb can be a curse. Cookies are sugar bombs, tiny grenades disguised as dessert. The refined flour, the butter, the oil, all of it hits your dog's body like a tidal wave. His pancreas strains, his blood sugar spikes, and what feels like joy turns into chaos inside. And then there's the chocolate, the raisins, or worse, the artificial sweeteners hidden in so many sugar-free treats. Xylitol doesn't just sweeten, it kills, flipping your dog's blood chemistry upside down in minutes. I've watched dogs stumble, seize, collapse after snatching a single cookie from the table. Even cookies made just for dogs can carry preservatives and dyes that erode their organs slowly, silently. And here's the cruelest part: they trust you completely. That warm, soft cookie feels like love in their mouth, but in their blood, it's poison, carving scars they'll carry long after the sweetness fades. If you want to share that moment, bake something meant for them: pumpkin and oats, safe, nourishing, real. Let the smell of the oven still fill the house, but with the comfort of knowing it won't hurt him. Because cookies are only the beginning. Think about leftovers, the spicy dishes we savor, curries, and stir-fries glowing with color and heat. For us, they're comfort. For your dog, they're fire in the mouth, in the stomach, in the gut. And the pain doesn't end when the bowl is empty. Number 18. Curry and spicy food. The pan hits the stove, spices bloom in the air. Rich colors coat the sauce, curry, chili stir-fry, the flavors that make our mouths water. You sit down with your plate, and your dog is there, instantly, nose twitching at the heat, eyes begging for just one bite. You give in, thinking it's only leftovers, just a spoonful. He'll love the flavor. But flavor in this case is fire. For a dog, spicy food doesn't just tingle, it burns. Chili peppers carry capsaicin, a chemical torch that scorches his mouth, his throat, his stomach lining. What feels like warmth to us feels like swallowing flames to him. I've seen dogs panting, drooling, restless after sneaking spicy scraps, their bellies twisted with cramps they can't escape. And that's only the surface. Hidden in so many spice blends are onion and garlic powders, the slow assassins that quietly tear at blood cells. Oil, too much of it, drowns the pancreas, triggering inflammation so painful it feels like a knife twisting inside. Even turmeric, praised as healthy for humans, can tip into toxicity when given in heavy doses to dogs. Owners often tell me he seemed fine at first, just a little restless. But hours later, the diarrhea starts, the vomiting, the exhaustion. By then, the damage is already smoldering deep inside. Spicy food doesn't feed your dog, it punishes him. The heat doesn't fade with time. It lingers, gnawing, breaking him down from the inside. If you want to share dinner, skip the curry bowl. Offer plain boiled chicken or steamed vegetables, unseasoned, safe. Let him share your mealtime without paying for it in agony. Because if spices can set your dog on fire from within, imagine what your morning drink can do. Coffee. Energy drinks. To us, they're fuel. To him, they're poison, strong enough to stop his heart. Number 19. Coffee and energy drinks. Morning isn't morning without it. The smell of coffee drifting through the kitchen, the hiss of a kettle, the pop of an energy drink these are the rituals that keep us going. And when your dog looks up at you, curious, maybe even sneaks a sip from a forgotten cup, it feels like nothing more than an accident. After all, it's just coffee, just a taste. But inside his body, that taste is a lightning strike. Caffeine doesn't slip through a dog the way it slips through us. It lingers, digs in, whips the heart into a frenzy. The pulse races, the body shakes, seizures erupt, as if electricity has seized control. In the worst cases, the heart simply gives out, silenced by a stimulant, meant for humans, never for him. And energy drinks. They're not just caffeine. They're loaded cocktails of sugar, artificial stimulants, and sometimes even xylitol, the same sweetener that can kill a dog in minutes. To us, they're fuel. To your dog, they're a loaded syringe. I've seen small dogs collapse from a single spill on the floor, eyes rolling, bodies convulsing, owners too shocked to believe that one lick could carry so much danger. Coffee beans, grounds, even the smell, it doesn't matter. There is no safe dose. None. Every drop is a gamble, every sip a risk that stacks the odds against the life of the friend who trusts you most. Keep your mugs high, your cans sealed, your countertops clean. Because the danger isn't in the cup itself, it's in the moment you forget, and he finds it first. And as terrifying as that is, we've reached the final stop. Number 20. The one I dread the most. It isn't a meal or a leftover or something from the table. It hides in purses, backpacks, pockets waiting to be found. And just one piece, one can drop a dog into a coma in 15 minutes. Number 20. Sugar-free gum and candy. It's the most ordinary thing in the world. A stick of gum in your pocket. A mint in your purse. A piece of candy tucked in the glove box of your car. You carry it without thinking, unwrap it without worry. But to your dog, that innocent little sweet is more dangerous than any steak bone, more lethal than any leftover. Because hidden inside is xylitol, a sweetener for us, a death sentence for them. I've seen dogs brought in after finding just one piece. 15 minutes later, their blood sugar crashes like a plane falling from the sky. They stumble, collapse, seize their bodies trembling, as if the life is being pulled straight out of them. Owners stand frozen, whispering, "It was only one piece." But that one piece carries more poison than their small body can ever fight. And gum is the cruelest of all. Xylitol is packed in such high concentrations that one stick, one chew is enough to send even a sturdy dog into a coma. It doesn't just drop blood sugar. It assaults the liver, shutting it down, stacking the odds so steep that every minute lost can mean the difference between survival and goodbye. The worst part, dogs love the smell. They'll dig through purses, backpacks, jackets to get to it. They'll find it on sidewalks, half chewed, spat out by strangers. And you'll never see it coming until it's too late. There is no safe amount. None. If your dog ever gets into gum or candy with xylitol, it's not a wait-and-see moment. It's an emergency, straight to the vet, no hesitation. Because every second counts. And that brings us to the end of this list. 20 foods hiding in plain sight, waiting in your kitchen, in your bag, in your everyday life. But knowledge is power. Now you know. And knowing can save the life of the one who trusts you most. So here we are. 20 foods, 20 ordinary things that live in our kitchens, our pockets, our daily lives, each one carrying the power to harm the very friend who trusts us more than anyone else in the world. Bacon sizzling in the pan, bread warm from the oven, grapes sweet on the counter, even that stick of gum in your purse. They don't look like poison. They look like love. And that is why they're so dangerous. I've seen too many dogs come into my clinic sick, weak, their owners trembling, whispering the same words I thought I was helping. I thought I was giving him love. But love without knowledge can wound. Love without caution can take away the very life we're trying to protect. Now you know better. You know what to watch for, what to keep locked away, what to say no to even when those begging eyes tug at your heart. And that knowledge is more powerful than any medicine because it can stop the pain before it starts. It can give your dog the one gift no treat ever could, more years by your side. So I ask you this, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you walk into your kitchen tonight and clear out the dangers? Will you share this truth with a friend who loves their dog the way you love yours? If this video opened your eyes, if it gave you even one piece of information that could save a life, then don't let it end here. Share it. Comment below which food shocked you most. And most of all, subscribe to this channel. Because in the next video, I'll show you the flip side, 10 human foods that don't just keep dogs safe, but can actually add years to their lives. Your dog depends on you. He can't read labels. He can't say no. But you can. Protect him. Love him the right way. And let's keep him healthy, strong, and beside you for every walk, every wag, every quiet night on the couch.